talking about the Titans here. The Titans.
Swinging a drive, left field. It's gone. It's gone. It is Bedlam at the bank.
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Podcast right here. You already know. Go fucking subscribe. Go follow.
You are now listening to the 302 Birds Phillies postgame show with Eric, Brendan, Dalt, and Ballpark Tommy. Proudly powered by TickPick. Check out the link in the bio for $10 off your first order today. Let's take it to the show.
Oh my goodness. Look, last night wasn't the prettiest. Obviously an upsetting win. Title was titled by Shard, pathetic loss. I get it. Tonight, what a 180. What a complete 180. Friday Night Lights, Christopher Sanchez gets his first career, not only shutout, but complete shutout. Goes all 9 innings. Third of the year for the Phillies. How's everybody doing tonight? Let me know in the comments some initial reactions. I got Chaos Chris joining me tonight. Chris, initial reactions, man. How you feeling?
I'm glad to share the name with Christopher Sanchez. He was absolutely dominant tonight. And, this is a guy who, we thought he'd just be a fifth starter, come in here. Maybe he's got around a 4 ERA. We'd be fine with that. He is second in the league in ERA right now. He's absolutely dominant. And he showed it again tonight. Just absolutely just destroyed this Marlins lineup. And it's one of the better pitching performances I've seen. Probably the second or third best pitching performance we've had all year out of the Phillies. And we've had a lot of good ones. He just went out there. At one point, he had 14 straight. He mowed down, striking out the side multiple times. Like, he just was on one, throwing 97. And, when they first got him, he was only throwing 93 or 94 only. But, just mixing up the pitches really well, locating really well, getting them to swing outside of the zone. Just a tremendous performance by Christopher Sanchez. There's really not too much more you can say about it. Just flat out impressive. Flat out impressive. I'm glad they locked him up last week. I was saying it when we were on the show, and you're like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah, this is big. I don't think people realize how big that signing really was. And you're going to see how big that signing really is really soon.
Yeah, man, you called it. You were right. And Chris was one of the people that since the Rays trade, you know what I mean, all the way back when we got the guy, he's been saying, this dude's a stud. He's been on the Sanchez team. I like it. It was a good call. I
thought
know.
He was the same thing. To me, he reminds me a lot of the Ranger Suarez when they got Ranger Suarez. He wasn't really stretched out too much, was only throwing 4 or 5 innings, but he was really effective in those innings. And now that he's fully stretched out, you're seeing Christopher Sanchez in full effect. And if they have him, Ranger Suarez, Zach Wheeler, and Aaron Nola for the long haul, oh man, this team's going to be really, really good. Especially, you still got the best right-handed pitching prospect in all of baseball in Andrew Painter. So this team could be very good for a very long time if this pitching can hold up like this.
That's what they've been saying. The best is yet to come for our Philadelphia Phillies. And that is so scary, my friends. This team's only going to get younger. This team's only going to get better. And I think, that root beer does it to you. But point being, I think part of why I didn't know who Sanchez was, I heard them say it tonight on the show. I think Tom McCarthy said it. This is his 6th win of the year this year. He's been a big piece of their success this year, pitching-wise. Last year, he only had 6 wins. So if you want to talk about just mentally upgrading, knowing what you need to do to take your game to the next level this year, I think he's done a great job of that. So I salute him. I give him credit on that. An absolute masterclass performance tonight. I'm not going to talk for a second. I'll give it to Chris because I can't stop burping from this damn root beer. But Chris, What does it mean to get a shutout win for a young player like this at this level for Sanchez and for his confidence level too?
I mean, it's absolutely huge for him. It's absolutely huge for the rest of the bullpen who really struggled last night. They almost needed to sit back and just watch somebody else pitch tonight because they blew that game last night. The bullpen blew that game last night. So for them to come out and not have to pitch tonight was huge. The bats really weren't going, but Sanchez picked them up. And sometimes that's the things you need when your star players get hurt, like the Phillies have been lately. I said earlier on my TikTok, I'm like, there's only so many things that can go wrong for this team, but injuries are one of them. If they can, surpass the injuries with performances like this, the Phillies will be a World Series contender. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, and like David's comment here too, I want to bring that back up for a second. Here you go. I was on the same, train too, but there were 3 of them, unfortunately. Still a dominant. I mean, in this day and age, the way that these guys, it's still very hard to bat. I mean, the pitchers are only getting better, but the batters are also only getting better too, on the flip side. So, I mean, I thought it was a masterclass performance. I know that, there were some people that were not happy with the fact that it wasn't. I did see some people upset on Twitter. I'm like, how are you complaining about that?
I think he gave up a hit on like the first or second batter of the game, so that wasn't happening anyway. But
yeah, that was
I
the thing
also look at
I saw in the first
efficiency.
inning. I was like, what the heck? Oh, give a thumbs up, guys. Drop a like. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
What was that?
that's cool. I'm like, oh, what's that? But
Is
I
that
look at
new?
efficiency more than anything. I mean, you had that. He only threw 101 pitches. Zach Wheeler last night pitched really good, but threw 115 pitches in 6 2/3 innings. So I really look at that efficiency more than anything. You got Roy Halladay. I think when his second no-hitter hit, I think that was like 115 pitches, and he didn't give up a hit. So it's all about efficiency to me. They don't need that no-hitter every single night. If they can get through and not give up any runs, to me that's just as good as no-hitter.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I mean, I think that they look just stronger on both sides of the ball this year. Pitching, hitting, like they seem like they come out with more direction. And I don't know if that's them as a team, if because of what's happened the past couple of years, they finally snapped out of it, for lack of a better term. Or I don't know if that's maybe because of the coaching. I think it may be a mixture, is fair to say. But I mean, either way, maybe it's what they're feeding them. Shout out to the Phillies cooking staff. I don't know. In all seriousness, though, something is different this year. And
They
as
want it more.
fans, we definitely notice it.
They want it more. And I think it's the culmination of a couple things. I mean, I think Ranger Suarez and Christopher Sanchez are really developing as pitchers, whereas before they were just throwers. At least Sanchez was. Ranger had a little bit more of the pitch location, but Sanchez now, I mean, and again, he's throwing 97 now. A difference from 95 to 97 can be a lot.
Yeah.
So it's just them learning how to pitch more, them coming together as a team. You got guys like Bohm who are starting to break out more. Guys like Marsh who had a really big double tonight. I don't think he wound up scoring on it, but he hit a really nice double tonight. So it's just they kind of just all got to come together as a team, and they're starting to do that. We'll see how long that stays, but I'm excited to see what the future is with this team.
I am too, because they're just locked in. They're locked in on a different level. So as a Phillies fan, we got to get locked in. Somebody else locked in very much. I think it was in the 8th inning there. If not the 9th. Yeah,
I think
sorry.
No, it was the 8th. It was the 8th. It was the 8th.
Oh, okay. So,
Right.
yeah, towards the end of the game, though, in a crucial moment, Rojas makes a great decision to steal. Was it 2 bases there that he stole? He went to second and then to third, and he stole both?
So it was a routine single up the middle that he stretched into a double. So it should have been a single. He was really aggressive, went to second base, and then he stole third base on, I think it was a little bit of a pass ball, but he stole it anyway. And then he was really aggressive on the base pass. And it's the type of thing you see out of guys like Ellie De La Cruz and O'Neill Cruz, Like these guys who are really athletic guys. And I think that's what Rojas needs to be, is a little bit more athletic and a little bit more aggressive. And I think that's going to get his confidence up too, because he smoked that ball up the middle too for the base hit. We like to see that at a Rojas. And as David says, Rojas is better than Pache. And I would agree with that, especially the way Pache's been playing this year. I think Pache has a little bit better bat, but Rojas, that base stealing and that aggressiveness on the base pass, it's what Shane Victorino used to do, and it got in the pitcher's head, and that's the best thing that can happen.
Yeah, like when you can just mentally challenge your opponent, make it a chess match in any sport, that's a great thing. And just watching Rojas like make those decisions, especially when he came around first to second, like that speed that he fucking turned it on.
He was
right
gone.
there. He was booking, yeah. And that's like
That's like
just
Deshaun
shows,
Jackson.
like, to your point. Yeah, D-Jack, shout out to him. Kelly Green action. But shout out to your analogy too, Chris. They want it more. Like that run just displays it. They understand that these games mean so much more. That 1 seed means so much more. Carrying that momentum into the playoffs, having that discipline. Discipline makes today harder, but tomorrow easier. If that ain't the truth. That's one of my favorite quotes. But if that ain't the truth for real in baseball too, because really performing well right now, doing the little things right, the fundamentals, which sometimes can be annoying, is going to set you up for success in the postseason. But not only that, having the 1 seed is going to be a benefit to you as well. So I like this risk right here. This is good. Figure out if it's good or bad right now in the regular season. And I just want to say too, if this wouldn't have worked out, I wouldn't have been upset. I wouldn't have been mad, because it's like, it's a calculated risk. You're going to have them. I don't think that anybody in the Phillies organization would have been upset with it, because look at how crucial it was. Like you said, Chris, anytime you can mentally mess up your opponent as well, it's a good thing. Like this didn't only mentally mess them up pitching wise. When they came out in that 9th inning and had to bat, it was
defeated.
Quick. They're defeated. Exactly. They know it's already over. And all of that came from Rojas cutting it to first to second base, really cooking, fucking booking. So
And
it's all crazy of how
one
play can really change the trajectory of a game. Sorry, go ahead.
And there's one thing about being aggressive. There's one thing about being aggressive in the right situation. And that was the right situation right there, because he knows, okay, he's a leadoff hitter. If he's on second base, you score another run, you have another insurance run, that's huge. If he gets out at second base, okay, there's 1 out, it's top of the order up after him. So it's really not that big of a deal. If he got out there at second, I wouldn't have been too upset. Now, there would have been a ton of people, calling for his head and all this because he was too aggressive. But it worked this time. And if you can show that, I bet you it's going to work out a lot more in the future. So that'll be huge to see if they can continue that throughout the year. And maybe not just him. Maybe it's Turner. Maybe it's Stott. Like, they have a lot of speed on this roster that's really not used as much as it should be. And hopefully they use it a little bit more.
Yeah, I like how you said that. Like, we don't see Phillies players often, get to that speed. At least I don't. And I'll admit I'm the amateur, but that was why I got so excited tonight, seeing the hustle out of him. It's like, fuck yeah, like, let's go. Like, fucking not dragging ass at all. You know what I mean? And that's nice to see a different kind of hustle out of this team. So I hope it keeps up. I really do.
Gotta give a little shout out to Quinn. Quinn has been donating a ton in my TikTok live. Appreciate you so much. We're live on YouTube on 302 Birds as well, if you guys want to come on through there.
Thank you. But Chris, just going right into the next topic, go ahead and address the elephant in the room, man. I mean, there's no secret injuries were felt tonight offensively.
Yeah, man. It's the offense was struggling a little bit to begin with, and now you got arguably your 2 best hitters out for at least 10 days. It's worrisome, especially when it's your leadoff hitter and your number 3 hole hitter. Those are arguably the two best spots you need. So, they really just weren't getting it done offensively tonight. I don't know how many hits they wound up having, but it just wasn't great tonight at all. They gotta do better. They had 7 hits, but I think with runners in scoring position, they were like 1 for 9, maybe. Like it was really bad. Stott wound up with both the RBIs, no hits, so they were 0 for 10 probably with runners in scoring position. It's just not 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position. Six guys left on base. Can't be like that. I know that all your guys aren't out there, but those are the ones you got to capitalize on. I don't expect them to slug a ton of home runs, but they got to be better offensively. And I agree with you, Jordan. I think we will be fine. They just need to figure it out. I mean, you can't have Castellanos doing what Castellanos did tonight. I hate to keep going out on Castellanos, but it continues to rear its ugly head. Like he's being paid $100 million and he's batting 220, and it's really bad with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, it's not good. Hopefully it gets better. I will say Stubby has been bouncing back a little bit from what I've seen and what I heard tonight, right? Can you speak on that a little bit? Has he been doing a little bit better? I think a couple can say, yeah, look at you rubbing your face because you got to give Stubbs credit.
I think he had a hit tonight, but I also think
he did have a hit tonight. I saw.
I think he popped out the runner in scoring position as well. So I think Marchand's a much better player than him still. I mean, Marchand has been up with the Phillies for 3 weeks now, and he's got more home runs than Stubbs, more RBI than Stubbs. He's a better defensive catcher than Stubbs. So I think Stubbs is, nearing the end of his Phillies time here. Like Stubbs in 86 at bats has only got 3 RBIs the whole year. That's just not good enough. It's not good enough. I know you're a big Stubbs guy. I know you're a big vibes guy, but he's just
through the past couple of games though. Not all. I know all year doesn't work to his benefit.
He's got like what? Yeah,
but it's not the postseason yet either.
At least 3 straight games with a hit. But again, no RBIs.
Yeah.
So that's ugly. That's ugly for sure.
We'll see. We don't need a solo stat, you know what I mean, or an individual stat, which I totally get that. Now, moving along to our last topic, Chris, you've been a Phillies fan your whole life. What kind of impact does that stadium have on, do you think, Sanchez, as we even alluded to earlier, the momentum tonight, the noise in there? It's
a different juice. It really is. I mean, I've never been able to play in front of it or anything like that, but you can just feel the energy inside that stadium, and it's different. It's just different. I think if the crowd was at 30,000 fans, like it has been around this time of the year over the last 5 years, last 10 years, really, Sanchez probably pitches 7 innings. I think that crowd effect really, really not only helps the pitcher, but scares the shit out of the hitter. And I think that's really what it is. Scares the shit out of the Miami Marlins bats. And it's better for us. And I love to see it. We all love to see it. It's a Friday night. You love to see it. And we're hoping for the same damn thing tomorrow when we're there.
Exactly. Yeah. And when you look at this Marlins team, I also heard them say 4 for 26 against left-handed pitchers tonight or all season. That is ass. That is not good. So, I mean, if we want to throw somebody out there that's a lefty, it may not be a bad idea. I will say as well, I like your point, Chris, that the crowd really does influence, I think, a lot of decisions in the game. The players know it, but shout out to Philly Rob and management and coaching understanding that. And like you said, if it was, 40,000, 42,000, maybe he doesn't go all 9 innings tonight. But 44, man, it really definitely is like a video game in real life where your stadium gives you +2 overall or something.
It feels like a playoff atmosphere every single night the Phillies are going out there, and it's a huge, huge advantage. There's not many other teams in the league doing this. You got, the other teams I think of are the Yankees and maybe the Dodgers. Those are the only 3 that have this kind of crowd every single night. Nobody else is doing it.
Yeah, they've looked fantastic tonight.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
Not tonight, but all season. I mean, they've been that way for the past couple of seasons. I'm not going to lie. This is nothing new, to Philly fans.
This year is
But
much different than it was last
I feel like
year.
we're more respectful this year. I don't know if that's a hot take, but I feel like
Well, it's because we're beating the shit out of teams right now. Once we start losing again, the fights are going to start happening again, which I'm all for. Let's do it.
Yeah, then the raging will start happening. Then the true Philadelphians will come out. But hey, until then, man, I'm hanging out. I'm enjoying it. Hopefully, I did say now that this is going to pretty much conclude June for Schwarberfest. I did say I hope that it extends a little bit longer. Maybe until mid-July, maybe when he comes back,
I don't think those 55 home runs is happening for him now, unfortunately.
No, now it's definitely not happening. But I would like maybe get hot. Maybe you come back, take it slower, and maybe you really rest that arm and then get hot right before the playoffs and carry into the playoffs. I want him to get
hot in October.
Exactly.
That's what I wanted. October.
Fingers crossed, baby. Fingers crossed. But that's all I got. I just wanted to say as well, we will be there tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So if any of you guys are going to be at the Phillies game tomorrow, keep an eye out for us. I think we're going to try to be, right now, we're going to plan to be in the K lot because it may rain. If not the K lot, we'll probably be in the Jetro lot. If not the G lot, wherever we'll be, we'll announce it on an Instagram page, either Chris, Dalton, or 302 Birds, or probably all three, knowing us. So you'll know where to find us, and we're going to be doing Sippin' Sports. Just a quick announcement about that at around noon tomorrow, I think. I guess the lot's open at 11, you said?
Yeah.
So we'll get there. We'll be having breakfast there, and I think noon or 12:30, depending on the time, we're going to be broadcasting Sippin' Sports live from the stadiums, then doing interviews for a little bit, probably going into the stadium around 3:40. 3:35 is my hope to be done with all the content filming and get in there a little bit earlier. But that's all I got. I don't know, Chris, do you have anything else before we wrap up?
Not really. It was a great night tonight.
A great night. And that's Philly sports, man. Oh my God. One night you're pissed. The next night you're ecstatic. Thank God we're on the good end of that tonight, right?
Either the season's over or they're winning the Super Bowl. There's no difference. There's no in between.
Exactly. And that's said like a true Philly fan. On that note, we're out of here. We will see you guys tomorrow for Sippin' Sports. Have a good night.
The Vikings!
Swing and a drive, left field. It's gone! It is gone! It is Bedlam at the bank!
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball!